What is up, guys? T-dyno bringing you a new figure today, or I should say two figures. With us we have Velvet with Cornelius. They are both from the game Odin Spear. Now, if you have not heard of Odin Spear, it is like a 2D side-scroller hack and slash dungeon type of game where you play multiple characters throughout certain points of the game. And I got it last week. I've been playing it periodically during the week, so I've gotten quite a bit into the game, or into the story. I'm almost finished with Cornelius. I haven't started Velvet yet. I think after Cornelius there is Princess Mercedes, the fairy princess. Then after her maybe it's Oswald, and then Velvet. But don't quote me on that. I haven't played too much in the game, so I don't know too much of the lore so far. But I saw this and I decided to pick them up because why not? It looks amazing. It's by Alter, by the way. It's a 1/8 scale pre-painted figure. It is, of course, Velvet with Cornelius attached to the back of her figure base. So it's gonna be a great figure. Got this figure off of Tokyo Otaku Mode. Surprisingly, they didn't sell out of this figure like Gwendolyn. Gwendolyn was sold out, so I don't have Gwendolyn yet, but I'm on the hunt for Gwendolyn, the re-release one by Alter, I believe. So yeah, let's begin. This is the front side of the box. Odin Spear, as you can see through the window, there is Velvet on the right and Cornelius to the left. Now, for those of you who didn't know, or who don't know, Cornelius is actually a human, but he got turned into a puka because some curse. I don't know specifically, but I just know he's been cursed to become a puka. I do know actually, but I'm not gonna spoil it. But yeah, he is a puka, which is a rabbit-looking creature or monster, or however they put it in their world. So he's trying to undo his curse, and of course, Cornelius is in love with Princess Velvet, and that's all I know so far. Alright, as you can see, 1/8 scale pre-painted figure, Velvet with Cornelius. You get the sculptors at the bottom, Alter at the bottom right. The front of the box is sleek, clean, very dark. It's black. I like it. It fits the overall theme of these two. So Odin Spear, you get a nice preview of Velvet. So let me move the camera a bit. My bad. Here we are. Odin Spear, short window. Of course, we got Velvet, Odin Spear logo again, and Alter. So it's a nice preview for her. Now let's move to the back. Here's the back. Alright, Odin Spear. Now this is a cool preview of the entire figure. No disclaimers, huh? Interesting. Most of these figures we usually have disclaimers in the back and stuff, but this one does not. Alright, let's switch. And this side, of course, belongs to Cornelius. Wow, he looks like a cute bunny. I'm not gonna lie. For some reason, I think he looks a little bit cuter in this figure than he does in the game. It might just be me. Like, oh, you want to pet him, it's like your pet rabbit. Alright, now to the top. Of course, short window, Velvet with Cornelius, 1/8 scale pre-painted figure. Alright, now I'm gonna set this up again. I feel like I have to assemble this figure, so I'm gonna turn off the camera real quick and play around with these figures. Okay, here's Velvet with Cornelius outside of the box. Took me quite some time to assemble them together, particularly because of Velvet's weapon right here, her little crystal chain or whatever you want to call it. It's a huge nuisance in the butt, but I tried to get it to resemble the picture as much as I can. In the process, I did end up leaving some black marks on the hands of Velvet. I mean, it's barely noticeable, but if you look closely, you can see the black marks. So, yeah. Let's. I'll show you the figure now. So, of course, it comes with two particular figures. The main one being Velvet. It is titled Velvet with Cornelius. Now, keep in mind, it is a 1/8 scale figure, so it's not going to get any bigger than that from what you saw earlier. I figured it would be a little bit bigger because it has two people on it, but it's a pretty pretty average size figure. You know, it's enough to satisfy, you know, Odin Spear fans, or, you know, your eye. So let's start with Velvet first, since she is the closest to us. So I'm gonna move the camera real quick, and then I'm gonna focus on her face. Now, she looks a little bit different in this figure, in my opinion, compared to the game, of course, because the game has more of an anime style to it. I guess, like an anime style to it. It's a 2D side scroll, like I mentioned earlier. It's a bit more anime-ish in the game, so they're trying to, I don't know, go with a different approach, maybe different art style here, a little bit realistic. And of course, she is wearing the same attire from the game, and as you can see, she has some really huge breasts. It looks kind of weird in my opinion. Like it's the pointed breasts. It looks kind of weird, but that's just me. So here is the rest of her body. Now, she is very easy to put in. There are 2 silver pegs that you can put the characters in. So Velvet's right here, and Cornelius is on the tower, or the ruined house, ruined pillar, I mean. Very, very simple. Now let's change angles real quick, and I'll show you this side of Velvet. Now, this is what I'm talking about right here, the chain. She has no place where the chain can actually clip in and be still, like get held in place. So, like right now, the chain is just there, just by pure will and pure luck. So I'm not sure how I got it like that. It was a pain in the butt to put the chain in her left hand. You know, I've seen some other photos. People decide to ditch the crystal chain. They were like, fuck it, we're not going to use it because it's a pain in the butt, and it is a pain in the butt. So, you know, when you're assembling this figure of Velvet and Cornelius, you have to be mindful of this chain, and you get what you get. Like, you can't replicate the exact same thing with the official pictures if you look at them or you've seen them. But yeah, from this angle, looks the same. Nice body, nice clothes, same attire from the game. Nothing to say. And of course, this portion of her, the bottom portion of her clothing, you can move it up and down. But I'm not gonna move it up and down, because if I do, I'm gonna mess up the chain. So if you do get there, you know, just a side note, you can actually move her skirt up and down. So let's head to the back real quick. Now, nothing out of the ordinary. Same thing here. And of course, you get to see a little bit of the ruined terrain. This is a pillar. I'm guessing this is one of the plants you can plant in one of the game. And of course, here is a skull head. And I think that's of one of those characters. Or I'm not going to say anything. It might be spoilers. But yes, the skull head is in the game. You see it quite often. Alright, now let's head to Prince Cornelius. He is the puka, or the rabbit, whatever you want to call them. But in their world, they are called pukas. Pukas are a cursed race of people, or cursed species of people from the ruined city of Valentine. It used to be a country, I believe. They were turned into monsters because they lost a war, or the cauldron was used, or something. I can't remember exactly how they were turned into pukas, but it is a curse. So this guy, Prince Cornelius, was originally a human, but so he woke in one day and he was turned into a puka. So you can see he's a very small figure. Not very much you can actually do with him, but he has a cool sword, cool magical sword, and he has. Let me zoom in a little bit more so you can see his features. He's very blue. He has like a patch of blonde hair there from his human incarnation, because he did have blonde hair. He is a prince, and of course the blonde along the ears goes along. It does, you know, it's a throwback to his human form. Alright, now let's move to this side and get a better angle of Cornelius. So here is a better angle of Cornelius. The sword's covering half his face. So the sword was really easy to put in, unlike the magical chain that you get with Velvet. You just detach the bigger part from the handle of the sword, and you reattach it through his hands. Very, very simple, nothing complicated, and it does stay in place. And as you can see from his foot right there, it is attached to the ruined, or the ruined pillar of the base. So he's very easy to put in. Alright, now let me straighten these two up real quick, and then you can get a good view of what they look like from the front angle, the posable angle. Alright, so my thoughts, overall thoughts of this figure. It's let's see, I got it for $137 off of Tokyo Talking Mode. That is the retail price. That is the price in yen also. It's like 13,000 yen, I believe. Don't quote me on that. It is around that price range. So it is kind of a pricey figure. I mean, you get 2 for 1. You know, you get Velvet and you get Cornelius. And it is based off of the characters in the Odin Spear game. Now, if you're an Odin Spear fan, I recommend you pick it up. If you're not, well, I don't think it's something you would pick up, you know, unless you really are into fantasy and stuff like that. I mean, there are more Odin Spear figures coming out. Gwendolyn was already released. They're out of stock on most websites, but I'm still looking for her. I believe Princess Mercedes is coming out. She is the Princess of the Elves. I'm not sure if I'm saying her name right, but I think it's Mercedes. And I haven't seen anything about Oswald yet, so we'll see. You know, we'll see. But for an Odin Spear figure like this, I mean, it's pretty cool. It's a decent figure, or figures. I mean, it's a decent figure. I like the concept of it. It is the base is from one of the maps that you play constantly. It is the Ruins of Valentine, pretty much. So it does, you know, fall in line with the story of the game, and it is, you know, a true representation of the game. Now, like I said earlier, the only con I can think of for this figure is the chain. The chain was a pain in the ass to put around Velvet. I mean, there was instructions, but it's in Japanese. Even with pictures, it didn't help. But you know, it's just me being, you know, anal about it, I guess. It's something that's unfortunate. I have some black marks around her hands and stuff, but you can't really see it because I'm not gonna zoom in. But you just be careful with her chains. You don't have to force it into her hands because it will stay there magically, if you get lucky like me. So that's it for this review, guys. I know not much to say about this figure. It's or figures. I mean, I keep saying figure like it's one, but I like the cool concept of it. It's a great pickup for a collector if you're an Odin Spear fan. I mean, I think it will look great once I get the other Odin Spear figures. So, yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. Like the video, comment on it, and of course subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching. Sayonara.